Hello. We use water every single day. We drink it, we bathe in it, plants need it to grow, and animals need it too. But have you ever wondered where all this water comes from and where it goes? It's not magic. It's part of an amazing natural journey called the water cycle. Today, we're going to follow a drop of water on its incredible adventure. Our journey starts with the sun. The sun shines down on oceans, lakes, rivers, and even puddles. When the sun's heat warms up the water, the sun's heat turns the liquid water into an invisible gas called water vapor. This process is called evaporation. Think of it like this. When you see a puddle on a hot day slowly disappear, where does the water go? It evaporates. The sun heat turns it into water vapor, and the water vapor rises up into the air. You can't see the water vapor, but it's there. Plants also release water vapor from their leaves in a process called transpiration. It's kind of like they're sweating. So what happens to all that water vapor that rises up into the sky? As it goes higher, the air gets colder. When the water vapor gets cold enough, it changes back into tiny liquid water droplets or ice crystals. This process is called condensation. These tiny water droplets and ice crystals are so small and light that they float in the air and start to stick together, forming clouds. So every cloud you see is made of billions of tiny water droplets or ice crystals all clumped together. Have you ever seen your breath on a very cold day? That's condensation. The warm water vapor in your breath hits the cold air and turns into a tiny cloud that you can see. Or think about a cold glass of lemonade on a hot day. Those little water drops that form on the outside of the glass, that's condensation. As more and more water droplets and ice crystals gather in the cloud gets bigger and heavier. Eventually, the droplets become too heavy to stay floating in the air, so they fall back down to Earth. This is called precipitation. Precipitation comes in many forms depending on how cold the air is. Rain. If the air is warm enough, the water falls as liquid droplets. Snow. If it's very cold, the water freezes into ice crystals and falls as snowflakes. Sleet. These are like tiny ice pellets, often happening when rain freezes as it falls. And hail. These are bigger lumps of ice that can form during thunderstorms. So, rain, snow, sleet, and hail are all types of precipitation, bringing water back to Earth. What happens to the water when it falls back to Earth as precipitation? It gets collected in different places. Some of it falls directly into oceans, lakes, and rivers. Some of it falls on the land and flows over the ground as runoff, eventually making its way back into streams and rivers and finally back into the ocean. Some of it soaks into the ground and becomes groundwater. This is water stored in the tiny spaces between rocks and soil underground. Plants can use this groundwater, and we can get to it by digging wells. Some of it might fall as snow and might stay on mountains as ice caps or glaciers for a long time. And once the water is collected in these places, what do you think happens next? The sun shines on it, and the whole cycle starts all over again with evaporation. The water cycle is a continuous, never-ending journey. The same water has been cycling around our Earth for billions of years. This cycle is super important because it makes sure we always have fresh water available for drinking, for plants to grow, and for animals to live. It moves water all around the planet. The water cycle shows us an amazing and important part of water. Remember, evaporation is when water goes up, condensation, the cloud form, precipitation, the water comes down, and collection, the water gathers. Since water is so important and goes on this amazing journey, it's our job to help keep our rivers, lakes, and oceans clean so the water cycle can continue to give us fresh, healthy water. Thank you for watching.